My name is Bennett.
I'm Chris.
Jason.
Chris.
The household name Guinness is closely associated with many famous people, brands, and items. When most people hear the word Guinness, they immediately think of the popular brand of beer. But what most people don't realize is how that beer is connected to the tallest man in the world. Since its creation, people all over the world have dedicated hours, days, and even years to making their mark in time by setting a world record. The entries and categories have expanded and evolved since it was first published more than 50 years ago. So how exactly did all of this world record setting and breaking come about? How most theories become facts. A man convinced he's right and willing to publish a book to prove it, and that's exactly what Sir Hugh Beaver did. In Ireland in 1951, Sir Hugh Beaver, the managing director of the Guinness Brewery, was involved in a dispute over the speed of a certain game bird, and realized many others were having this exact problem in pubs and taverns all across the globe. It was then he realized how popular a book of this nature would be. He set out to create a universally accepted reference book for extremes of nature and human accomplishment. 3 years later, in 1954, Guinness World Record Limited was formed. The first edition was 197 pages and was bound in August 1955. It was an instant success by becoming Britain's #1 bestseller before that Christmas. The success continued through the second year, with sales reaching 70,000 copies. Each year, sales were better than the previous, and Guinness World Records quickly became a household name. As each new edition was printed, the publishing pattern eventually transformed into one of an annually revised edition that we have become familiar with today. Sir Hugh Beaver set out to produce a generally accepted reference book and lay pub and tavern disagreements to rest all across the land, and that is exactly what he did. People didn't just want to read it, they wanted their name in ink on its pages. So where do all the entries come from that end up in the Guinness record pages? Simple. Guinness World Records receives thousands of applications from individuals and groups to break or set new records every year. Up to 80% of the content each edition is brand new each and every year. Whether you're an individual or a large organized group, the chance to set a new record or break an existing one and have your name be among the pages of Guinness World Records is open to you. So what's the appeal? What is it that drives and motivates thousands of people each and every year to devote their personal time and resources, like the thousands that organized to set the record for the largest heart formation, or the other thousands that came together to participate in the largest can-can dance? Even animals can't resist, with categories such as the loudest bark by a group of dogs. It's not money, prizes, or amazing vacations. It's one and only one thing: recognition. This driving force has people coming back for more each and every year. While this publishing phenomenon has become very popular during its growth, many ethical and safety issues have arisen due to the content. Many Guinness World Records opponents are not fond of certain ethically questionable categories, such as most marriages or most divorces, and question the moral message that a person married 23 times receiving world recognition is sending. We have also seen categories removed from being published. The intrinsic reward that comes from holding a world record has people pushing themselves to personal limits and beyond, without any regard for personal safety or the safety of others. While Guinness World Records can't eliminate personal safety risk altogether, it can discourage them. And it did when it eliminated all categories having to do with food and beverage consumption, such as heaviest cat or most alcoholic beverages consumed. Guinness World Records took another step when it closed further entries into several other categories where it has been deemed that the current holders had performed beyond what is considered safe human tolerance levels. Such categories include sword swallowing and rally driving. These changes are not the only ones that Guinness World Records has seen since the first edition more than 50 years ago. The 2010 edition is a far cry from the 1955 text-based reference edition. Not only has content and number of categories changed, but the overall mission of the Guinness World Records has undergone a major transformation. It has become a sort of multimedia encyclopedia of reality competition. The 2010 edition included 1,500 new and old updated records. This number almost doubles that of the first edition. The delivery of the material has undergone a major facelift as well. In 1979, the first Guinness World Records Museum was opened. The book itself began to contain more photographs each year, and later a TV series based on the book was created. Today, Guinness World Records' willingness and ability to evolve has become clearly evident, like when they launched their Gamers Edition in 2008. This 258-page edition contained 1,236 video game-related world records. And if you like, you can pledge your loyalty by becoming a fan on Facebook, following their tweet, or subscribing to Guinness World Records' YouTube channel. Guinness World Records, a tradition that has lasted more than 50 years, will likely continue for an additional 50 more. The desire to be recognized as the best in the world will continue to drive individuals to pushing themselves to their personal limits and beyond. It is the single most universally recognized authority on record-breaking achievement. It is published in more than 100 countries and 25 languages and reaches annual sales of 3 million copies. More than 50 years later, we have seen the printing and binding of the 100 millionth copy in what has become a worldwide publishing phenomenon. Guinness World Records is the biggest selling copyright book ever published, consequently making it an entry in its own pages with the current world record of the best-selling copyrighted series of all time. Thank you very much for your time.